Hello, Leo. Welcome to October 2018. I always feel like Leo does well in Libra season. I feel like of all the pairs in the zodiac, that's like a really good pair. Like you do well in each other's season kind of thing. you match each other very well. And this is an interesting time for you because we do have some fourth house activity going on. And we get the number 4 of wands coming out as the first card. So let's talk about that. There will be an emphasis on your home life and your root system, where you came from. There will be a desire to get out there and to connect and be with the people that you love and that love you. The fourth house is deep. It does run deep. It's kind of the essence of our soul. Not only is there, psychological stuff. The reason why I'm talking so much about psychology, guys, if you've watched any of my other readings, is because it's Scorpio, right? Venus retrograde in Scorpio, which is all about therapy and psychoanalysis. So that's why. And so our minds and the way our minds work are on the docket. It's something that we do need to pay attention to and to really be ready for and to be happy about and to be excited about, because it's our opportunity to really break free from any kind of negative psychological patterns that we have. And because it's your fourth house, there's stuff regarding your family, stuff regarding your father or your parents specifically. And it's time for you to liberate yourself from anything that's been holding you back. Connecting with your friends is going to be so healthy. I swear. Like, get out there, be with those people that really love you, because I think there may be a tendency for you to withdraw a little bit. And so you may have that kind of internal, like, what should I do? Should I go out? Should I do this? Or should I stay home? Blah, blah, blah. If you have an opportunity to go out, go out. Okay? With your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, do date nights, whatever. Lighten it up, because it might get a little bit heavy. And then we're getting the Queen of Swords coming out, which is the Libra card, the Libra archetype. And she's reversed. So there's a harshness to it, okay? And maybe even a little bit of pride as well. When this could be you, it could be someone else you're dealing with. And it could be someone that you're dealing with that's kind of having a little bit of an emotional temper tantrum. And it may be reflecting something back to you as well. Be careful not to judge them too harshly, even if they might be judging you too harshly, okay? Because it's them kind of acting out because they're not really doing the introspection that's really needed. This is an unbalanced Libra energy, which anyone can have. We all have that ability within us to have that. So when someone gets unbalanced and they don't really know what's what, and they don't really know what's going on, and they're not taking responsibility for that, they can act out in mean ways or be super icy or really detached or, and it's not necessarily your fault, okay? But ask yourself why that is manifesting in your life. Not to say that you necessarily created that, but, why is that coming out? Well, it's probably a lesson for you. It's probably something that you need to know. Need to know how to handle it, need to know how to not get involved with it, how not to have an argument with that person. It's your chance to be the more mature one. Well, 4 of Cups reversed. So this is kind of, when 4 of Cups is upright, I always say it's my card of emotional maturity. But when it's reversed, it's, we can get a little bit heated and we can be a little rash. And I think that's what this person or this energy is really going to bring up, is that kind of desire to get emotional. 4 of Wands is grounded. It has established roots. It is warm and there is safety and security there. All right. So that's a good energy to have because you're really going to need it. You're going to need to stay grounded because there's going to be a lot of kind of external stuff that's going to happen that's going to entice you to not be grounded and to come kind of to their level. And we don't need to be doing that. And I've been saying this in a couple of the other signs too, with Venus retrograde and Jupiter finishing out its transit in Scorpio. I don't know why, this is just me. This is not like a real astrological thing. But I always feel Like when these larger planets are leaving and they're kind of sitting at the last degrees of their sign, they tend to get a whole bunch of lessons in there right at the end. Like they tend to just like throw a whole bunch at you. And because it's, Jupiter, fourth house, it's understanding, right? Jupiter, understanding, there's spirituality there. Understanding of what? Well, Scorpio, the psychology. Understanding of what? Fourth house, home and family, where you came from, your roots, the essence of your soul. So it's deep for you. Six of Coins reversed. There will be a tendency for one person, most likely you, to be over-giving. My gosh, I love my Leos. You guys are like this endless supply of giving. And sometimes, like as a Virgo, I'm like, man, I can never like reciprocate at the level that you guys do, If you are feeling taken advantage of or you're feeling underappreciated, you don't have to give so much. It's okay for you to take the time for yourself. It's okay for you to not overexert yourself for the sake of someone else's happiness, because that's not going to happen. That's just going to turn you upside down. Okay, we'll clarify this person in the comprehensive. We'll also probably clarify the Six of Coins reversed. So ask yourself if it's balanced, and if it's not, pull back, scale back. You can still be there for the people that you love, right? You can still talk to them or whatever, but you don't have to put yourself out. And I know you care. I know you do. But right now, this person seems to be kind of turning their back. Like I said, it's like an emotional temper tantrum. They're just like, it's very immature. It's very childish. And they're going through something. Maybe they're going through their own kind of rebirth there. If you are the Queen of Swords, if you are the one that's kind of going through that, be aware of it so that you don't turn your back on anyone, or you don't sort of soil any quality relationships that you have. Okay, Nine of Swords. Yeah, man, it's deep. There's anxiety here. There's a lack of focus. Your planet right now, coming off of its opposition with Chiron. Sun, Chiron. Ugh. Do you guys remember what happened in March? Like it surfaces. This stuff creeps up, kind of out of nowhere. It's like 1 minute we'll be fine and happy and productive and going forward, and then the next it's like wham, we feel like we have a cannonball attached to our feet and we just got plunked down into the ocean, So here we have the Swords looking at the Four of Wands. And I don't normally do the bottom of the deck, but I was just waving it around and I just happened to see the Ace of Cups, which is love and spirituality and baptism, kind of like emotional baptism. There's purity here, pure intentions, pure heart. So there are amazing things around the corner, okay? If you are having issues with friends, it will pass. That's all I can say. It will pass. If you can eject yourself from, the negativity, do so, and connect with the positive ones, right? The positive people, the people that enhance you, okay? Who lift you up. Nine of Swords. Where are you coming from? Are you going through a rebirth of your own? Are you shedding skin of your own? Are you asking yourself, what is your purpose? Are you asking yourself the big existential questions? What does this all mean? What is this all for? How is this all gonna play out? Don't weigh yourself down by the big picture. Sometimes we can have that, tendency. We want to know where it's going. We want to know what we're going to get, what the outcome is going to be. This is a one day at a time type of thing. One day at a time. Wherever you feel safe, Be there. Be with those people. Now, I usually don't mind telling people, like, it's okay to get uncomfortable. It's okay to be in positions that don't make you, because that's growth, right? That's what growth is. But sometimes when that discomfort is happening on the inside, it's nice to have comfort on the outside, okay? And a Knight of Pentacles. Can be you, a version of you, an energy being reflected back to you. It can be a Virgo person that you're kind of connected with in some way, shape, or form. One day at a time. Kind of feel like actually in some way this is you conquering the darkness. It's very common for a Knight of Pentacles with the black horse to come out with a black card. There's a conquering quality. It's a matter of allowing this to process, allowing yourself to go through it. Going out with friends, by the way, is not a distraction in this case. I don't see it that way. The reconnecting feeds your soul. And what your soul might need is nourishment at this time. And I know we just went through Virgo season, and it's so brutal sometimes with that perfection. Plus, not only do we have the Sun Chiron opposition this week, but we also had the Sun Neptune opposition too. So it's been like a good 2 to 3 weeks of weirdness. Who am I? Questions. You're coming out of that. You're coming out the other side there. And you're coming out stronger, and you're coming out more solid. Okay? More like warrior-like. Leos are, it's funny because I don't really think of you guys as like warriors, like an Aries. You are, and you are a fire sign. But I just think of you guys as like the big teddy bears too. Like you have so much like to just give, and it's just like, it's just the best kind of love. Like my mom is a Leo, you guys know, and I just, whenever I need a big hug, like she's there, She's the one I can always count on. And my best friend in New York, he's a Leo too. Like if I ever need someone to just wrap their arms around me and say it's going to be okay, it's him, And that's what you do for the zodiac. Like you're there. I said this to Taurus too. It's interesting. This is a kind of a dual message for you guys. Let other people be there for you. Because you do give. And you do have so much value. Sorry, I'm talking too much. I don't know why. I'm like really getting into this reading for some reason. Let's see what else. You can expect agitation, Okay, well, lovers, the wedge between the two when it's reversed. The internal masculine and feminine, the internal duality plus the external duality, Libra reversed, also the balancing of the scales. So clearly this month is about establishing balance. I know it's like no doy, but really, it's time. It's time for us to get back up on our feet. The Seven of Wands can be other people's opinions, or people like really trying to, it's probably this person, right? Or this energy within yourself, kind of shoulding us. You should do this, you should do that. But see, you're evolving. You don't get a Nine of Swords like overnight or by accident. That's a process to acquire, and it is also a process to relieve yourself of that pressure, to relieve yourself of that psychological stuff going on. And you have to just acknowledge first that it's there. Nine of Swords can be addicting. This is the energy of someone who, and I say this story all the time, you may have heard me say it before, like when I had a major Nine of Swords period of my life last year, I was the girl in yoga class who could not sit still at the end when you're in Savasana, right? When you're supposed to lay there still. You can't, I was scratching my nose. I would start crying. I couldn't hold still. I'd get frustrated and just walk up and leave and, whatever I had to do to just get out of there because I couldn't contain. You might be feeling days where you're just like, oh, I can't control my mind. I can't, Now is not a time to be overindulgent in like any kind of chemicals or drinking or anything like that. It's not a good time for that. It's not a good time to get involved in gossip circles or, like I said, make sure you're connecting with the healthy friends, the good friends, the ones that feed you in a happy way. I'm a little bit worried about this one. The Four of Cups, if I'm being honest. I'm a little bit worried because when that comes out, we can be making decisions and we can say things that we don't really mean or that we don't really intend. And the major recommendation that I can give you right now is first, ask people that you trust for their opinions, but you don't have to take them, but just so that for the sake of, seeing things from a different perspective. Ask people for people's opinions, but don't get defensive if they disagree with you. Just listen and wait. Wait before you act. It might be in your best interest to wait until November when Jupiter makes its transit into Sagittarius, because I think it's going to be a lot smoother. It's a trining aspect to your sign, and it's going to be a whole new level of optimism and clarity for you, which will be great. Well, there's the Ace of Cups again, Four of Swords reversed. And yeah, see, Hanged Man. I'm not surprised by that. Again, the purple in these cards represents the merging of the blue and the red. Now, the blue representing the right brain, the red representing the left brain, masculine and feminine again. And the purple is the true cohesive truth and consciousness. And sometimes it takes time. This is not a mental state where clarity comes easily because we are so locked into our perspective. We are so locked in to our psychological programming that when we veer from this, even if this is what's turning us upside down or we're attracting upside down people because we are at a state of this, it can be hard to acknowledge that this even exists and that in reality this is really what needs to go, and that the way that this goes is through time. See, here we have the halo, right, indicating the illumination of the pineal gland, the third eye chakra, overall consciousness. Seeing things from new perspectives and new angles, even though it might be hard sometimes. If you are dealing externally with a Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, I gotta say, they're being a little bit harsh. I didn't really realize this until I started these kind of last few readings, but just in my own personal life and in some of the private readings that I've been doing, I'm like, man, earth signs are really coming online really hard and fast. They've got stuff to say and they're right. And that sucks sometimes because they can be such jerks about it and be kind of egotistical about it. But if you really sit back and you really listen to what they're saying, they're probably right. And sometimes it's going to, you're going to need to humble yourself to admit that, one, and then humble yourself to make those changes necessary. Defensiveness is not the answer right now. Other people are also going to be defensive. This is not just you, right? This is across the board. This is just kind of a weird time. And everyone's going to be kind of truthful with each other, which we think is like, oh, that's great. But people don't really like to hear the truth. They like to hear what they want to hear. But that's not going to be the case right now, especially not for you guys. People aren't just going to say it. I know meditation is going to be really hard for you, and you may even be kind of turning your back on that kind of spiritual practice as well. Don't. If you're having a hard time meditating, that's fine, but find quiet time. Okay? And you can at least think about your thinking, at least do that, at least breathe. Be sure you're drinking a lot of water. Be sure you're not indulging in unhealthy substances. Staying hydrated, continuing to focus on your breath, because clearly there's an issue with breathing, right? Like you're trying to catch your breath. That could be metaphorically as well, trying to catch your breath. Breathing is one of the best exercises, right, in spiritual practice. Prana, life force, chi. It's that practice that brings us into the moment, that connects us with our bodies, connects us with our thinking mind versus our observing mind. And it can be hard, but I think it's really necessary for you, because it is a weird time, and it's going to be. So you need to psychologically prepare for that, okay? Relationships are going to get weird, but it's huge strides are going to be made. So if you are in a committed relationship, you're going to be more committed than ever, like more best of friends than ever, because you will have worked through the lovers reversed. You will have reestablished trust and unity. You will have opened up new lines of communication, and you will have reached new levels of truth within your connection. So it's good to push through. It's good. Okay, Leo. I'm going to leave you with that. Lots to talk about in the comprehensive, obviously. Hopefully I'll see you guys there. If not, then I will see you next month. All right? Thank you guys so much. Take care.